Hello and welcome along to another episode and a new season from this FM22 One Club story with Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. We're back for part 45 of the Tudor Times today, and it should be a cracker. It is a new season, and it is the first summer transfer window in our third year in League Two. And it's probably the first time I've been genuinely excited. There's a few little names and bits dotted about in the screen, but today we have got by far the most exciting signing I've ever had, possibly in 15 or 16 years of playing FM for the level we're at. You'll see what I mean a little bit later on. We've also got a change in tactic, which has been forced by the players we were able to sign this summer, and more the positions we weren't able to sign players in. We've got an incredibly difficult start to the season away at MK Dons, and we play a lot of the other sides that were up around the top or that have been in League One in recent years. So if you're looking forward to what should be probably one of the episodes of the series, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from two long-term stories. We had the final video of our Cricket 22 series yesterday, our New Year update a couple of days before. And most importantly, yesterday, we went to see Hemel Hempstead live in the flesh for the first time since this series started. Fittingly, Cole Kopecka was the best player on the pitch, and there's a couple of clips on the podcast channel. I'll put one of them up in the eye above. But thank you so much for the support as always. A happy new year to you. And it could be a very happy new season for us because the players in and out are incredible. We promised an overhaul. We've still protected the finances, but we've delivered. I'm going to add the numbers up in a minute, but it is definitely double figures for both ins and outs. And before we face Fabian Delph's MK Dons and meet the new tactic that will be in place for it, let's go and get through all the sales and all the signings, which is just absolutely brilliant. We've still not completed the squad yet, but there's some names in here, let me tell you. So total numbers, 15 players in, 11 players out. That's because there's a couple more we're still trying to get off the books. But we start with the release players, and the only one that really matters there is Jake Caprice, who was released on a free transfer. He's retired. There's also a couple more later on. In fact, it's more than 11 because I didn't count these ones. I didn't go to the new year. So we've got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 first team players out, 15 in, still a couple more to go. A lot of these were out on loan last season, but Jordan Ibe, what an important player. I know he's declined. I know he really struggled with injuries, and it's cost him a career, to be honest. But he was fantastic that first League Two season and crucial in our survival. David Gregory, a club legend, a man I would have loved to have kept. I still wanted him here as my backup keeper, but he's not interested in it, so he stays away. Dylan Barkers was out on loan last year. Harry Brook was a backup player. Fernandez a backup player. But Brook plays 76 times in the league for this club and is solid enough. He's gone to Gillingham as a backup. Fernandez, he's wanted by a couple of clubs. Plays 75 times for us. Looks like he'll be going to non-league. And Luke Garbett, he left after a year with us. Declined physically towards the end, but a really solid acquisition and helped us to a higher finish than the year before. Lots of assists from set pieces too. So they are the ones that have been released, in addition to Caprice, of course, who retired. Now let's go to the ins and outs, because there are a lot of players to reflect on here, and there are one or two names we're going to have to prioritise. Let's start with the early summer work, before we move on to what happened later in the window. The first thing you'll notice is an out, a big sale. A player we feared might be leaving, but we've got an incredible amount of money for, and more importantly, we've got him back on loan for the season. It was offered to us as part of the deal, even though we didn't ask for it. Scott Egan, our star holding midfielder, is the first £500,000 sale of the series. He has gone to Reading, who have sent him back here for the year. No wage contribution. Brilliant holding midfielder. We've trained him there. We've developed him. And after signing him from Dorking Wanderers on a free, he's made 49 league appearances for us in a year and a half. And just look at him now, a 500 grand player. Hopefully, we'll be able to keep developing him because he's been a brilliant footballer for us and I absolutely love him. 6'4", great in the air too, it helps from set pieces. Scott Egan will be spending another year with us, but he has made us $500,000 richer. And he's allowed us to invest in a few other younger players from the lower levels, which is going to be back to my old philosophy. We also, remarkably, managed to get money for Luke Armstrong, who was a bit of a flop for us. £74,000 from Linfield, where he's now a backup player. 30 years of age, was a flop for us, 2 goals in 28. Delighted with that. And then Ryan Boot, Aston Villa have signed him as a third keeper, and we somehow got money for him. So after a poor season for us, 11.25 thousand, couldn't turn it down. The other one to leave is Elliot Hewitt. Again, what a player he was in the National League promotion season. So important for us. Did decently in League 2, but is back down to non-league level now, which at 32 is probably his level. But a really good servant for us, as so many of these have been, and we have to be grateful for what they've offered us. In addition to Scott Egan coming back into the club on loan for the year, there were 4 other early signings in the summer transfer window. I promised you this was an overhaul. Josh Berry was the one that was pre-agreed in the end of season review. He's a free agent from Man City at 18 years of age. He's not bad. He's a young player who we've taken a bit of a punt on. 4th choice centre-half with 2.5-star ability. Still got 5-star potential. And as hopefully we can start to improve the facilities and the stuff around it, we can make these players better a lot quicker. So he's someone who I'm looking to maybe make a profit on. If not, it's a very cheap gamble. 250 quid a week. We can't turn it down. We'll feature in the cups if nothing else. Next one is going to be a first teamer. Sol Alidor Hamilton was out of contract at Halifax. We had to pay a little bit of compensation. £30,000. He's 22 years of age, unfortunately suspended for the first 3 matches of the season. But look at him, a really quality upgrade in centre mid. He's basically an upgraded version of Lewis Brunt. He's 6'1" again, he's good in the air, physically he's monstrous at this level. We talked about Tristan Naidum in the end of season review, and could he play 2 or 3 games a week? Well, I've not got many doubts that this lad could. He'll be a great box-to-box, we'll get working on him in a training ground, try and get him a little better going forward. But overall, I'm really pleased with that signing, and I feel he can be a good asset to the club. And you can see the money he's worth. I think we might make a profit again. You can immediately see this summer we've gone back to signing younger players for low fees or for free and trying to make a profit. The next one comes out of another summer change. Brentford were our previous senior affiliate. That was agreed by the board when they last took over. But they didn't have an under-23s, they didn't have players on low wages, so it was a pointless collaboration in the end. So what we've done is we've replaced them with Fulham, another London club, and they've been much more helpful in giving us squad players. The first of those is Graham Park, who will be a regular substitute. As well as being a decent player of 2.5-star ability, he's also very versatile. He's a good centre mid, he's a right back, he's a centre half, he's an attacking mid. He can do everything. He's brilliant, he's brave, he's fit. Again, the physical attributes are so important to me this year. And while he's not the best technically, he's decent defensively. And he's going to be solid enough to be on the bench. Made 1 league appearance for Fulham, and he'll be involved for us over the coming season. Then we've got our second paid transfer of the summer. Taking a gamble with a little bit of the Egan money. Or you could say just spending the Armstrong money. Stuart Parry comes in from South Shields. Now South Shields have done alright in non-league. £16,000 is the fee. And I quite like the look of this kid. At 19 years of age, he was 18 when he joined, so will become homegrown at the club. 3-star ability as a striker and cutting in off the right wing. He's electric quick. He's an okay finisher, but the other technical attributes are pretty good. He's got good composure. He's a good mover off the ball. He's left-footed. He's a good trainer. And he scored goals galore in non-league last year. A former Spurs Youth Academy player coming back closer to home. A Welsh under-20 international. And again, worth more money than we've signed him for already. And he was going to be a starter until a deal you're going to see in a minute. Because when I switched to the second half of the summer transfer window and the 26-27 season we've just entered, unless it's hidden behind my head, there is one name that is going to immediately catch everyone's eye. Are you ready? Here it is. Tell me if it's not the name you first spotted. Tell me if you're not following the Twitch save with Derby County. You've seen the man that has just led us to massive success there. He's sitting on our ends. What a list of players this is. Forget the ones at the top and the bottom. The name in the middle is Ricky J. Jones. Ricky J. Jones in League 2. We've broken the bank and offered him £1.5 a week. He's worth up to 1.3 million. Look, his attributes have actually declined since the start of the game here. He's only rated 2.5-star ability as a striker. He's rated worse than Stuart Parry, who we've just seen. He's rated worse than Javan Malcolm. But I know what Ricky J. Jones can do. And he will be a star for this football club. Mark my words. At Peterborough, he was excellent. He looked a prospect as a young man. Watford have ruined him. We're going to save him. We'll get those stats up with regular football because the fact of the matter is he's been stunted by not playing at all. He's 23 years of age. and we're going to get the best out of him. On Twitch, you've already seen what he can do with Derby. I couldn't believe it. He popped up in a scout report. I didn't even look for him, and he became available. We've lost out on some other stars this summer, don't get me wrong. There was a brilliant left back I wanted. I wanted to get Kalon Hazeman back, who was out on a free. But this is the guy, and if I was going to lose out on all the other deals and get him instead, I'll take it. When that happens, when that deal went in, and I made the contract offer, for the 3 or 4 days before he agreed, I was actually sitting there with physical tension, which I very rarely get in FM, which shows how big a deal it is for me. I can't wait to work with him this year. There is no doubt that's the standout man and might well be a massive profit for us. Let's get through the rest of the ins and outs now we've done that, because there are some other very good names on that side, but they've all been overshadowed, I'm afraid. Let's deal with the outs first. Jack Senga went to Bath, who he was on loan at before, for £5,500. Henry Oshieng was out on loan last year. He's gone to Telford, where he spent the last season. Again, he's a good non-league player. He's not a Football League one, which is why he's gone, but he's earning good money, so fair play to him. The other 4 have all gone out on loan. We've really struggled to get players out permanently this year. So Matthew Carson has gone to Kelty Hearts. I offered him a new deal because he has got big potential. Maybe he'll develop there. He is improving in terms of attributes already. Teddy Davey has gone to Torquay on loan. Another one who we brought up from non-league. Did all right for us in League 2, but wasn't going to set the world alight. So hopefully he'll do well in the National League. Jordan Stevens, flop of the save so far. Over 100 grand last summer. Had a poor year. He's now gone on loan to Sutton, who dropped back to the National League, finishing bottom of League 2 last season. If he can have a good year and play there, he might well improve. He's not played well in his first game. We are getting 10 grand of the money back and we're saving the wages, so I guess that's a positive. Victor Sedende has also gone back to non-league. He's gone to the National League with Bromley, and he started with 1 goal in 2 games, but an awful match rating, weirdly. So hopefully he'll have a good season for them, but probably the end of his time here. So with all of the outs now reflected on, let's move to the rest of the ins. Mccauley Gillespie was one of the first signings. He came on a free from Luton Town, again signing a local player. This one a little bit older at 30 years of age, but he's been a good player. Had a loan spell at Oldham last year. He's decent physically despite his age. He's 6'1", he's imposing in the air, he's a good defender. He's actually going to be a centre-half for me, and I see him as an upgrade. He's one of the most solid ones we've ever had, and definitely a good League 2 player. The only slight issue is I had to give him a longer deal, but the wage is very low. We're still trying to stay in that structure. Gareth McDonough comes back in on loan. Now, I said ideally I didn't want to do this because he was always tired after international breaks, missed games, whatever else. But there was no one better available. We were really struggling to get a right back in. And McDonough, for all of his negatives on that side of not being available, occasionally getting sent off, silly mistakes, he's 6'3", he's a class fullback. He's got a great personality and he kept improving. It was a no-brainer. 925 quid a week to his wage. Our new goalkeeper is Zach Geacock from Fylde, another signing from non-league. £25,500. The best of a bad bunch. I like that he's 2-footed. I like that his distribution's very good. His kicking, he's playing out from the back. He's good in the air, he's imposing. Again, he's 6'3", and he's a slight upgrade with a professional personality. So Zach Geacock will be our first choice keeper this year. Has played regular football the last 2 in non-league, not done particularly well, but has got experience in the Football League for the likes of Salford and Birmingham, and of course has got a fair few games under his belt for a 25-year-old. The next one is someone I'm really pleased with. We've had him briefly in the head coach this year, Arthur Reid. We had him there at Sheffield Wednesday. He's on £1,000 a week. He was going to be our star of the summer. And again, a bit like Naidum, technically and mentally, but physically much better, in that he's got great natural fitness, good stamina. And this is what I said, it wasn't about getting massive upgrades. It was the fact that a lot of our star players last year missed 12, 15, 20 games of the season, and we were so much weaker for those. So if these ones can come in and play 40 games instead of 30, that ultimately makes us more consistent for 10 more games. Arthur Reid is a great signing. I'm really pleased with him. I feel he can be our midfield star, and he's still got a little bit of room to grow into. I know he'd been at Burton recently, but has played for Stevenage, Brentford, us before briefly back in his youth days with Luton Town. He's played most of his career in the local area, so coming back to Hemel made massive sense. Next up, Ricky J. Jones, who of course we've met and been excited by for a while. The next one is a backup keeper, Sam Hornby, £8,000 from Bradford City. We lost out on a couple of stars because, look, all of the players we tried to get on free agents were wanted by loads of clubs. Weirdly, bar Ricky J. Jones. He's done okay for Bradford. Look, he's played 159 games for them. Played a full season in League 2 last year and got a really good rating. He might even become first choice because he's very solid, he's very consistent, and he's not far off G-Cock in terms of key stats. He's same in terms of attributes. It's just that he's rated slightly worse, but he's definitely a very good backup keeper. He might well be a decent first choice one yet. James Daly was the next signing. He is a 3-star striker. Again, was going to be a start before we saw Ricky J. Jones come in. We've got Javan Malcolm, James Daly, Ricky J. Jones and Stuart Parry. That is one hell of a front four. And it might give you an indicator as to why we've changed the tactic and what might feature as part of it. So James Daly comes in, was at Stevenage before, again, stays in the local region. And as a free agent, is going to be worth more money in the end. So really pleased with him. Our parent club Fulham then came to help us out again with DJ Heath on loan. No wage contribution for an Irish under-21 international. He's a solid centre-half. He's a very good young right-back. And he could well be cover for McDonough. He could well be cover at centre-half and allow Brian Ward to become a right-back. But he played 37 games for Sutton last year. I know they got relegated, but it's League 2 experience. And again, as part of the squad, as a first substitute, that's very good for us to have. The other lone player was Will Swan, who's just come in. Take note of his position and see if you can work out what we're going to do. Comes from Blackpool, where he played 36 games. I think they're back in League 1 now. They are. Didn't score a goal for them last season, but it's going to be a starter for us. Is a natural number 10 and striker. And even in that position, good jumping reach and 5'11", a decent height too. Watch out for this guy. He's not really got the star quality that some of the others have got. I think he might be a little secret gem for us. And then the final signing before the new season, because we were getting pretty desperate on the left-back front, is Nathan McGinley from Plymouth. £61,000, biggest signing of the summer, but I think he's going to be worth it. He's 29 years of age, he's a very solid fullback, good tackler, decent going forward, still got all the physical stuff, and he's got a big jumping reach. He's 6'3", he's mentally strong, he's a quality player. He's played in Scotland a lot, he's played for Plymouth last season in League 1. And you know what? I think we've got a really good squad. We've missed out on the star left back we wanted. We missed out on a couple of others, like a keeper too. But we have got a very good League 2 starting 11 and a very good squad, which is what we didn't have before. So let's go and have a look at the tactical change and get into our first game against MK Dons. Because for the first time since we've come up to the Football League, I feel we've got a really good squad. And I'd be quite disappointed if we aren't in the top half. If we get the best out of Ricky J. Jones, who knows, we could even get into the playoffs. The reason I'm not aiming any higher than that is because we have had the season of massive clubs coming down. Portsmouth, who have got some quality players. Wigan, who have got a fabulous squad. MK Dons are still very good. Tranmere have got a top side. If we look at the season preview, we are expected to finish 5th. That's how well our squad is rated. So maybe playoffs is the ambition. But for now, with a very young squad, particularly going forward, I just want to develop. There are the likes of Doncaster up there as well, the likes of Bristol Rovers who have been relegated too. However, as we go and head into this game, there is one more bit of transfer news that might become an issue. Javan Malcolm, we had an offer accepted for him by the board. We were refused the opportunity to negotiate. It was $575,000 plus 20% profit of next sell-on clause. However, you know me, I don't care what we sell a player for, I want a 50% sell-on. Javan Malcolm I don't really want to let go because Egan's gone already. I'd like him to go to a club where we can get him back on loan next year, whereas he was getting an offer from Southend in the National League. I'm not having that. But if the right offer comes in, we can get him back on loan, and more importantly, if we can get that 50% sell-on, don't rule out Malcolm leaving yet. But if he's replaced by Ricky J. Jones, it might be the deal of the century. Let's go back and have a look at the team for today. We have changed tactic completely, and it's pretty similar to what MK Dons have got there, because we've brought it back. The Bangor City tactic, the narrow diamond is here. It's very different because of the players we've got at this club, and we're still focusing a lot on the set pieces, on the physical side with the tall players. And of course, we're missing one of our star centre midfielders from Halifax in the summer who's out suspended. But this side is pretty good. It's going to take a few games for some of the late signings to get up to speed. It's going to take a few games to get familiar with the tactic. But I'm hoping a bit like the first season in the National League South, once it gels around October, November time, maybe we can become a star force. You've seen this tactic a little bit in the save with Derby on Twitch. That's because in that save we signed Ricky J. Jones and then Adam Idar came in. Here it's the other way round. We had Javan Malcolm and now Ricky J. Jones has signed. Ideally, I'd like both of these to be advanced forwards, which at the moment I can't do. I'm tempted to make Javan Malcolm the poacher, but for now, I'm just going to try it this way round for 45 minutes and see how it works. So we're playing a narrow diamond, we're focusing on set pieces still. We're going to set the tactic up very similar to how we did with Derby. We're going to try and play out a little bit from the back and then go a bit longer. Hopefully it will work out. Our starting 11 is G-Cock in goal, McDonough making his second debut at right back, McGinley is first at left back, Brian Moore is partnered by new summer signing Gillespie as centre half, Egan is in a holding role back on loan this time rather than a permanent player, Reid joins Tristan Naidum in the middle with Hamilton out suspended, and then Will Swan, who desperately needs match fitness, is behind Ricky J. Jones in League 2 and Javan Malcolm, last year's top scorer up front. The bench is filled with quality, but there are still a few weak spots. You can see there's Hamilton out suspended, but we've got the likes of Marshall, who started last season first choice, and the likes of Brunt and Groel Pollard still there. The Fulham loanies and the two new other strikers on the bench. Let's go and get into the new season. I'm genuinely excited. I've got to remember if it doesn't go right today though, we're playing one of the promotion favourites. Ricky J. Jones, please let you have kept your quality and find your form soon. Well, to add to the links of previous saves, we've got Daniel Finlayson, who we had with Ballymena in our Twitch streams last year. Tom Lawrence, another one of our Derby players this year, is still in there. Jaden Stockley's a good player. It's a great League 2 side. You've got to be fair. And you can understand why they're one of the favourites. For us, it's a matter of gelling and learning a new tactic. But with those two up front, if we can create 4 or 5 chances, I'd fancy us to score a couple of goals. Let's see if we can do it. As Ricky J. Jones goes straight from the kickoff to Swan to Brian Moore. I can't believe he's playing for us in League 2. We almost have to thank Watford for ruining him. As McDonough at right back to Reid. Chips up to Ricky J. Jones. Headed away. I thought I was going to get first minute excitement there. You're going to get this beaming smile for a few episodes unless it starts to go wrong. Surely he can't flop as McKay goes down the left-hand side to Lyons Foster. Wouldn't be ideal if we conceded in the first minute. Back to Scowen. Jones working back there, doing really well for us. Scowen delivers though. Stockley's up. Brian Moore heads away. Javan Malcolm can counter. He's forced back to Reid. He finds McDonough. Just go over the top. Just do it. He's up there. Ricky J. Jones will chase. Can't quite make it past Finlayson, who was quite quick if I remember. Malcolm goes back into Naidum. Through to Javan Malcolm again. All the talk about Ricky J. Jones. But don't forget last year's top scorer. If he can add an extra 50 grand to his value, if he can get another club interested, then we'll take it. Get him back on loan. Because this is going to be one hell of a season. I'm feeling a playoff party by the end of the year. And that's the perfect start to it. No shots MK Dons. We're on top. It's 1-0 Hemel Hempstead. Free kick to Hemel Hempstead again. 25 gone. Reid finds Swan. He goes back to McDonough. We look really comfortable here in possession as Swan goes down the right again. Keep your eyes on him this season as he delivers. Blocked away. McGinley back into Jones though. Forced wider. Cuts it back. Will Swan's in. First one and second one are blocked. Last ditch defending from MK Dons. But Hemel Hempstead looked brilliant. According to the media, we're playing the second best team in the league. And my word, we're giving them one hell of a game. Well, we're coming up to first half stoppage time. Look at the ratings of the front two. I'm having the time of my life with them. Naidum finds Will Swan. He's got support from Reid. He finds Ricky J. Jones, who goes wide to McDonough. Into Jones again. Onto Will Swan. That is absolutely sensational. I'm going to love this front three. I'm going to absolutely love it. The plan is that Reid will go into the Naidum role once the other midfielders fit. But at half time, it's MK Dons 0, the promotion favourites. Hemel Hempstead Town 2. 1 assist for Ricky J. Jones, 1 goal for Javan Malcolm, 1 goal for Will Swan. The perfect start. Just over 15 minutes to go. I think we have lift-off in this save. I was about to make subs, but we had a free kick, which is poor from Reid. I don't want to get caught out from this. We left a couple back, the shape's good, but Tom Lawrence must be one of the best players in League 2. Goes back to Morgan. Finds Lawrence again. There's a few in the box. Don't concede now. Don't make a grandstand finish. I think they're gonna. Parry's got it 20 yards out. Perry, sorry. Great save. G-Cock looks good already. It's out for a corner kick. 15 to go. Just thinking about getting some of the tired legs off now. As Lawrence delivers. Finlayson there. McGinley heads away. You can see the height of the side. You can see the aerial threat. But Lawrence has got it on the wing again. The free kick is for offside. Let's go and make a couple of changes. McGinley only joined a day or two ago. Got a knock. Is struggling a bit. Grewal Pollard, able deputy. Arthur Reid in the middle. Just needs a rest because he's not quite match fit. Graham Park from Fulham will come on for him. And then do I take Jones off? Do I take Swan off? I just don't know. I feel like the sub-strikers deserve a chance. They're both brilliant. We have got a cup tie midweek. I'll leave it 5 more minutes because at the moment, I don't want to change too much. 10 minutes to go. Hemel Hempstead looking brilliant. And I think we're going to make the change now. Ricky J. Jones needs to be eased back in. And an assist, a brilliant rating. Best player on the pitch despite not scoring. And now Parry can get his debut too. He's a left footer. So I'm going to swap them round. I think we'll put Parry as the poacher. And we'll put Javan Malcolm as the advance forward. And let's see how it works out. 7 minutes plus stoppage time. And a dream start to the season. I was so excited when the Jones deal happened. But the rest of this squad is pretty good. And this is going to be a great season. As Egan chips up towards Malcolm. Perry knocks it down for Harrop. I'd love to keep the clean sheet. But they're chasing the game. And Lawrence is working down the left. There's a man unmarked in the middle. Forced back to Lyons Foster. It was good defending from Brian Moore. Switch of play to Leonard Doe on the volley. It's over the bar. I think that's the final chance. We're going to win 2-0 surely. Or can we create one more? As Gillespie plays out to Grewal Pollard. The sub down the line to Parry. Naidum over to Swan. This is the chance for 3. Can we humiliate them? Force back to Grewal Pollard to Park. He finds Naidum. Got a man over on the right. Goes short to Park, who finds McDonald a fullback. 2 in behind if we can get them. Up towards the centre forward. Darling heads away. Only as far as Grewal Pollard. We're finishing the stronger. This is a brilliant game to watch. This is the best we've ever looked. I know we were brilliant the first day of last season. But we weren't this good in front of goal. Grewal Pollard with a throw-in. The 3 minutes are up. Into Tristan Naidum. Can we get one more chance? Pollard delivers. Parry's up. Headed away as far as Park. The final whistle goes. That is superb. We've dismantled the second favourites for promotion. What a performance. Let's go and look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. I've got a very good feeling about this season. Swan scores on debut. Ricky J. Jones, man of the match. I'm so happy. I am so happy with this side. We're going to be back for the last game of the month. It's not long in the future, but it will also contain transfer deadline day. And with the interest sniffing around for Van Malcolm, and with some of the players we've brought in so far, I'm expecting a few more fireworks yet. We've made money and we've improved the squad massively. Let me know in the comments, is this the season? We said at the start of this save, 5 years to get out of non-league. This is the 6th year and we finally feel like we've got a League 2 ready side. And I feel like we could go for it this year. Top 7 for me is a realistic aim. Top 3 might be pushing it with the other sides there. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Please do put a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it. How on earth did we get Ricky J. Jones here? And do we have to now become a Watford fan for the fact that they've saved us by ruining Ricky J. Jones, the superstar? If you want to stay up to date and find out how the season goes, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. I can't get the smile off my face and haven't been able to since mid-July in this save. Please do come along in a couple of days' time as transfer deadline day will be a classic. In the meantime, we've got a triple header tomorrow in terms of games in our head coach episode. It's a thrilling end to the season there. I hope you'll come and join me. There's links to our real life Hemel adventure yesterday up in the eye above. Derby Day against St Albans. You can find some content up there from the podcast channel and here. But thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the new season. And if we continue to play like that, I'm going to be smiling all year. And hopefully it will end with playoffs or promotion. I'll see you next time for transfer deadline day and a big game against Swindon. But thank you for watching. I'll see you there. And I'll try not to stop smiling in the meantime.